I get it when you're setting up a small bakery corner, a home kitchen, or even just trying to make a batch of dough for the weekend. The last thing you want is to waste money on a mixer that can't keep up, or worse, one that ends up taking up half your countertop for nothing. I was just chatting with a friend who's been eyeing a countertop planetary mixer, and she was torn between spending a little extra on a high-end brand or going for something that looks solid on paper but might have hidden quirks. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. So I dug into what the Globe Food Equipment SP08 actually brings to the table, read through the handful of reviews it has, and thought about the day-to-day scenarios where a mixer either shines or falls short. First off, the thing that makes the SP08 stand out is the sheer capacity. An 8-quart stainless steel bowl isn't something you see on most countertop units unless you're looking at the professional grade tier. For anyone who regularly bakes multiple loaves, makes large batches of cookie dough, or even whips up a big pot of frosting for a party, that volume means you can do it in one go without constantly stopping to scrape down the sides. I tried it with a 2-pound sourdough starter, a batch of pizza dough for a family movie night, and even a big batch of vanilla buttercream for a birthday cake. In each case, the bowl held everything comfortably, and the planetary motion made sure the dough didn't clump at the bottom. Now, power is where a lot of mixers stumble. The SP08 is equipped with a powerful motor, and in practice that translates to a motor that can handle dense dough without bogging down. When I ran the pizza dough for about 10 minutes on the low speed, the motor stayed quiet and steady, and when I switched to the middle speed to bring the dough together, it never stalled. For a home baker who occasionally tackles a tough rye or whole-grain dough, that reliability is a real win. The control panel is another area where the design feels thoughtful. It's a simple knob with 3 speed settings: low, medium, high plus an on-off switch. There are no digital readouts or fancy preset programs, which might sound old school, but it actually cuts down on confusion. You can just turn the knob and feel the resistance change in your hand. For someone who isn't tech-savvy, that tactile feedback is reassuring. The attachments that come with it: a flat beater, a wire whisk, and a dough hook cover most everyday tasks. I found the dough hook particularly useful because the planeting action forces the dough to turn over itself, which mimics the hand-folding technique many bakers recommend for developing gluten. That said, there are a couple of practical trade-offs you should be aware of before you click Add to Cart. The first is size. While the 8-quart bowl is a strength for big batches, it also means the whole unit takes up a decent chunk of countertop real estate. If your kitchen is already cramped, you'll need to dedicate a permanent spot for it, or be prepared to move it around each time you bake. I've seen a few users mention that the base is a bit heavy, which isn't a problem for stability but can be a hassle if you need to store it away. Second, the speed range, though adequate for most home tasks, is limited to 3 levels. If you're looking for ultrafine control, say, a super slow stir for a delicate mousse or a very high spin for quick whipping, this mixer won't give you the granular adjustments you might find on higher-priced models with 5 or 6 speed settings. In my own kitchen, the low speed works fine for slow kneading, medium for most doughs, and high for whipping creams, but you do lose that in-between feel that some bakers rely on for specific textures. Who should consider the Globe SP08? If you bake at least a few times a week, especially recipes that involve heavy doughs or large quantities, the bowl capacity and motor strength give you real value. Small-scale caterers, home-based food entrepreneurs, or even parents who want to batch cook muffins for the kids will find that the time saved by not having to stop and dump the dough into a separate bowl is worth the countertop footprint. The stainless steel construction also means it can handle the occasional spill or splash without pitting, which is a subtle but nice benefit for a busy kitchen. On the other side, if you're a casual baker who only makes a loaf of bread or a batch of cookies once a month, you might be better off with a smaller, lighter unit that can be tucked away when not in use. The extra capacity might never get fully utilized, and the 3-speed limitation could feel restrictive if you enjoy experimenting with delicate batters. Also, if you're looking for a mixer that integrates with smart home setups or has a digital timer, this model stays firmly in the analog realm. A practical strength that isn't always obvious from a product.